Let's learn English through real life and easy stories. Today, we asked some people, what's the most interesting job interview question you've gotten? What animal best represents you? This one was such a fun question that I'll never forget, probably also because I aced it. So, at the end of that interview, the HR suddenly asked, if you were an animal, what would you be and why? I paused for a second, thinking it was a joke, but I quickly realized they were serious. I didn't want to pick something obvious. Then it hit me. I would be an owl. I continued. An owl may look cute and harmless, but they are skilled hunters. They can work well at night, and they're symbols of wisdom. Then I noticed the interviewer nodded, clearly interested. So I added, just like the owl, I'm calm and composed on the outside, but don't underestimate me. I can handle tough situations and work in challenging conditions. The interviewer seemed impressed, which made me feel more confident. As the interview continued, I felt a sense of accomplishment. That question had turned into a chance to showcase both my skills and my personality. Oh, and of course, I got the job. I am still working at it at the moment. What's your favorite failure? This one totally threw me off guard, but looking back, I'm glad it did. It was from my last job. What's your favorite failure? I took a deep breath and started sharing my story. I told them about failing to get into my dream college. At that time, I was devastated. I had worked so hard for it, and the disappointment hit hard. I ended up going to a different college, one that wasn't as well known. But I didn't let that stop me. I worked hard and became the top student. I achieved so many rewards. I found my best friends, and I graduated with straight A's. Then the interviewer asked me, if you could change the past, would you have wanted to get into your dream college? I remembered saying, honestly, I need more time to think about that. I've always been ready for new challenges. But truly, that failure taught me so much about myself. I really appreciate the school I actually got into for that. They smiled and said, that's a great way to look at failure. You've really turned it into growth. I could feel the shift in the conversation. That interview really made me reflect on my past in a positive way. I am no longer working at that company now, but I still very love it. How would you explain this job to a 5-year-old? So, I was sitting in a job interview for a logistics position when the interviewer asked, how would you explain this job to a 5-year-old? I paused for a moment, thinking how to explain such a complex job in the simplest way possible. So, sweetie, imagine you have a toy store. You need to make sure all the toys from the factory get to your store so kids can buy them, right? But before the toys reach the store, they have to travel on trucks, trains, and even sometimes planes. My job is to make sure all those toys get to the store on time, in the right place, and in good condition. I make sure everything moves smoothly, just like how you would organize a toy race, but with bigger things. I could see the interviewer's face light up. It was clear they appreciated how I took something complicated and turned it into a simple story. I could tell that my answer stood out. It showed that I could break down complex ideas in an easy-to-understand way, which is actually so important for communication in logistics. That was back when I was interviewing for an intern position, and now I am already the manager. If you could have any superpower. I was in the middle of an interview for an HR position, and the interviewer suddenly asked, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? Without hesitation, I smiled and said, "The ability to instantly feel people's emotions. It would help me address conflicts faster, improve communication, and build stronger connections within the team." Imagine being able to immediately sense when someone is feeling overwhelmed or when they need extra support. I could see the interviewer nodding, clearly intrigued by my answer. So I continued to add, HR is about understanding people. So me having the ability to truly connect with them instantly would make the work so much more meaningful. Oh, and here's the twist. The interviewer paused for a moment and asked, "But wouldn't this superpower also be overwhelming?" I remembered taking a moment to think before responding. "You're absolutely right. It could definitely be overwhelming at times. But I think the key would be learning how to set boundaries and manage the emotional input, just like in HR, where we need to balance empathy with professionalism. I'd find a way to manage that emotional flow without letting it affect my well-being." I could tell the interviewer appreciated my thoughtful response. They seemed impressed with my ability to recognize the challenges of the superpower and how I would manage it effectively. Needless to say, right? I got in. I still think about that superpower often, but honestly, it would be a big burden to bear. If you had a time machine. This wasn't the best answer I've given in an interview, but the question itself was really interesting. If you had a time machine, where would you go? I remembered that I did not think much about it. I just said I'd go back to when my grandfather was alive and have a talk with him. I never really had the chance to have meaningful conversations with him before he passed away. He was such a wise and loving person, and I feel like there's so much I wanted to hear from him. I could see the interviewer's eyebrows raise, and I knew my answer wasn't exactly what they were expecting. It wasn't related to the job at all, and I wasn't sure if it would impress them. I wondered if I'd blown it, but then they moved on to the next question. It felt a bit strange, but I tried to brush it off and keep my confidence. To my surprise, I still got the job. I think what mattered was that I wasn't afraid to show a bit of honesty and vulnerability. And to me at least, I was being very true to myself with that answer. Even if I had not gotten the job, I would not have regretted that answer at all. Thank you for watching. We would love to hear your answer to the question as well. What's the most interesting job interview question you've gotten? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fun lessons. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next video.